What's up, y'all? I am Jake Poofy Hair McGee, and this is your Week 12 scripted pick'em show. That's right. This is the NFL pick'em show where I pick who I think is scripted to win. Because let's face it, the NFL is scripted. It's fake, phony, pretend football, and I do my best to try and figure out who is scripted to win these phony fake contests, and doing pretty darn good. So, started the week really hot. I hit all four of the winners on Thanksgiving and Black Friday. The only thing I missed was one pick against the spread. So went 4-0 money line, 3-1 against the spread on the Thanksgiving games and the one Black Friday game. The only miss being that I took the Jets plus 9.5. I'm a little shocked that they let the public win with the Dolphins on Black Friday, but whatever. So we're starting this week pretty hot, and I would like to continue and finish the rest of Week 12 uh, and have a really good week. So we started off really good, and I'm hoping we can continue. Let's go ahead and pick these football games, shall we? All right, and there are some tough ones on the slate. We got a lot of really close spreads. We got a ton of 2 and 3 point spreads. So a lot of chances for some upsets here, and I do have some upsets on my card. So let's go ahead and start with this NFC matchup here. The Falcons were on a bye last week. They're 1.5 point underdogs at home, and apparently they're going back to Desmond Ridder at quarterback. So looking at this game, looking at the NFC South, the Saints are in first place by 1 game over the Falcons and the Bucs. So in this game, I like the Falcons plus 1.5 and the Falcons to win outright. And my thoughts are the Falcons winning this game moves them up to 5-6. It drops the Saints to 5-6. And so I think this is going to be a 3-way battle in the NFC South that goes right down to the last week. So in order to keep this division nice and tight and close, the Falcons got to win this one. So give me the Falcons plus 1.5, Falcons to win. All right. So this next game, probably the toughest game on the slate, in my opinion, to call. Pittsburgh, 2.5 point favorites on the road at Cincinnati, playing the Burrowless Bengals. There's 2 conflicting storylines. Pittsburgh fired their offensive coordinator, which makes me think they're going to play better on offense. But Cincinnati winning without Joe Burrow and staying alive in the playoff race could also be a storyline. So the public is more so on Pittsburgh, which makes me kind of want to pick Cincinnati here. However, Pittsburgh losing last week and looking really ugly against the Browns makes me think Pittsburgh is due for a bounce back win. So the question is Pittsburgh going to cover? I'm going to go ahead and take Pittsburgh to win and to cover. Them firing their offensive coordinator and looking bad last week, to me, has all the makings of them bouncing back and winning this week. I can see a situation where Cincinnati covers and Pittsburgh wins by only 1 or 2. So if you are going to bet this one, you might want to stick to the money line. But I'm just going to go ahead and take Pittsburgh to win and cover the 2.5. This is, like I said, one of the hardest games for me to pick on the slate, and I'm probably the least confident in this pick. All right, Carolina at Tennessee. The Titans are 3.5 point favorites. Carolina's only covered 2 spreads this year, and I feel like this is a good spot for Carolina to not only cover, but to get a win. If there's anybody that Carolina could beat, I think they could beat a Tennessee Titans team here in this spot. And the public likes the Titans, so I'm fading the public here. I'm going to take Carolina plus 3.5. Carolina to win outright. All right, Tampa Bay at Indianapolis. This is another tough game to call. I like Indianapolis, or excuse me, I like the Bucs here because the Bucs winning moves them to 5-6, and I like a three-way tie in the NFC. So I'm going to take the Bucs plus 2.5 and the Bucs to win because the Bucs moving up to 5-6 will keep them in the race in the NFC South. And because I like the Falcons to beat the Saints, it would create a three-way tie at 5-6, making it anyone's division to win. I also want to point out, since it's anyone's division to win, you could see a team with a losing record in this division, the NFC South, make the playoffs. And whoever does win the NFC South, be it the Bucs or the Saints or the Falcons, whoever does win it is going to be looked at as a pretender. They're going to be looked at as the team that doesn't belong in the playoffs, which means they probably won't get a ton of money bet on them, which means in the first round of the playoffs, you could see an NFC South team win a playoff game. What that means is you could have Baker Mayfield in the second round of the playoffs. And you could be looking at this guy like, how in the hell did Baker Mayfield end up in the playoffs and win a game? Yeah, it's because somebody from the NFC South has to win that division. And you're looking at a team like Tampa, who could be that team. Now, I can't put my finger on whether it's going to be Tampa or the Saints or the Falcons. But what I'm saying is whoever does win it is going to be looked at as the team who doesn't belong in the playoffs, meaning they could actually win a playoff game. So before I go off on too long of a rant here, just remember an NFC South team is going to have a playoff game and they could win. So if you see somebody like Baker Mayfield in the playoffs and you're like, how did he get here? Well, now you know. So yeah, give me the Bucs here, plus 2.5 Bucs to win. Okay, this next pick is actually one of my favorite picks of the week, and I can't believe I'm saying this. New England is a 4-point favorite on the road at the New York Giants. And the spread doesn't make sense, which makes it one of my favorite picks for that reason. There's no reason why New England should be a 4-point favorite. Them having the worst record of the two teams here and being on the road, and they're laying 4 points, it doesn't make any sense. That means they're trying to trick you into taking Danny DeVito. I'm not going to be tricked into taking Danny DeVito. And yes, I know that's not his name. I call him that anyway because I think it's funny. So what it looks like to me is they're begging any idiot to take Danny DeVito and the Giants, and they're willing to give you 4 points if you're willing to make that stupid decision. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take New England to win and cover the 4 points. Even though it sounds dumb, I feel like this is a trap game and they're trying to trick you into taking Danny DeVito, and it's not going to happen. So if they're using some sort of double reverse psychology to trick me into taking the losing team, well, then they're going to get me. But as it stands, I think they're using regular psychology. And so give me New England -4 all day long. In fact, I think this is one of the best picks on the board, as crazy as that sounds. All right. Jacksonville on the road, 2-point favorites at the Houston Texans. This is a big game. A lot of people are going to be watching this one, and Houston won the first matchup, and the fact that Jacksonville's favored here on the road, I think that's the tip that they're going to win and cover. So it feels like Jacksonville should be getting a couple points here because they already lost to Houston earlier in the year. They're at Houston here. So the fact that Jacksonville is the favorite on the road, to me, that is the tip off that Jacksonville is going to win and cover. Another reason I like Jacksonville here is uh, Lawrence has already been established by the NFL as a future superstar. So I think CJ Stroud will definitely be pushed as a superstar later on in his career, but it's too early for the Texans to win this matchup. So, yeah, I definitely think the Jaguars win here on the road and cover the 2 points. And I think that Lawrence goes over in this matchup over CJ Stroud. Okay, Cleveland Browns on the road to face the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are 1.5 point favorites here. I like the Broncos in this spot. The Broncos have only covered 3 spreads. They're getting hot down the stretch. Cleveland got a big win last week. People are going to be looking at their record at 7-3, looking at their spread record at 6-3, and I think the public's going to be convinced that the Browns and their defense are the play here. And I think Denver is the play. The story to me is Denver is going to be alive for a playoff spot when it looked like, 3, 4 weeks ago they were dead in the water. So I think the story is that Denver and Russell Wilson are going to be um, above 500 with a win and in contention for a playoff spot. I think that storyline trumps the Browns here. The Browns can lose this game and still be alive for a playoff spot, still be alive to even win their division. So the Browns losing doesn't hurt them. I feel like Denver has to have this game to stay alive in the playoff hunt. So definitely taking Denver -1.5 in this spot. Okay, the Rams at the Arizona Cardinals. Both teams are out of the playoff race. There is no major storyline here, so it makes this game a little bit difficult to cap. There's not a lot to go on. It seems that the public likes the Rams more so than the Cardinals, so there is more money on the Rams side. The Rams have the better record. So I'm going to go ahead and take I'm going to take the Cardinals +2.5. I think Kyler Murray runs around and makes enough plays. So I like the Cardinals +2.5. Cardinals to win outright. The Cardinals don't have much to cheer for as far as their fans go. This is like one of the only games that I think they could win and give their fans something to cheer for. So the Cardinals winning this one at home is my pick for this game. All right. The Chiefs, after a loss on Monday Night Football against the Eagles, are 9.5 point favorites on the road in Las Vegas. So that's kind of a large spread. And since it seems like it's too large, it makes me think that that's the signal that Kansas City is going to win and look dominant. So I'm going to take Kansas City to cover the 9.5. It feels like they're trying to trick you into taking the Raiders in this spot with all those points. And since the Raiders have switched coaches, they have played better football. But I think in this spot, they're going to make the Chiefs look dominant in Las Vegas. So I think the Chiefs roll up the Raiders here easily. And since this is like the only big spread on the week here, I think that this is one where the Chiefs winning and covering makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to take the Chiefs minus 9.5. All right, this next game is a little tricky. Buffalo on the road against the Eagles. Eagles are only 3-point favorites. The spread seems a little low, and at first I was thinking that that the Eagles having a letdown spot against the Bills here made sense. But that's what everyone is predicting. So a lot of the guys who pick games who think that football is real are picking the Bills plus 3 points. And their reason is that they expect Philadelphia to have a letdown game. So it seems like the storyline that a lot of people are going with is that the Eagles are expected to play bad against the Bills here, and that the Bills have to have this game to stay alive in the playoffs. I'm going to go the other way, and I'm going to take the Eagles at home to cover the 3 points. I feel like Buffalo might not go to the playoffs, and losing a game like this just might show everybody that Buffalo isn't going to the playoffs this year. Not everyone who made the playoffs last year is going to make the playoffs again this year. And I think a team like Buffalo getting knocked out of the playoffs, it makes sense. And this doesn't actually kill them completely. So Buffalo could lose this game and still win 2, 3 in a row and still be alive for a wild card spot. So this doesn't necessarily knock them out of playoff contention, but too many people are expecting Buffalo to show up in this spot and expecting Philly to look bad in this spot. So when there's too many people expecting an upset like this, I'll just take the better team with the better record. I'll take Philly. Plus, Philly's playing the Niners next week, so Philly looking strong, and the Niners look strong already against the Seahawks. So Philly looking strong here makes sense to me. And then you have a big matchup against the 49ers next week. So give me Philadelphia to cover the 3. All right. Sunday night football. The Ravens are 3-point favorites at the Chargers. I feel like this is the Chargers' last chance to somehow get back in the mix, and the Chargers in a primetime spot right here. I feel like this spread is designed to where if you like the Chargers, you're going to want to take the points. And if you like Baltimore, you're going to take the money line. So I feel like there's going to be a good amount of money on the Baltimore money line, which makes me think the Chargers win outright. And Vegas scoops up that money line. So I'm going to take the Chargers plus the 3 and the Chargers to win outright. There's other people who are also picking this upset, so I'm a little nervous taking the Chargers here, but I feel like there's going to be a bit of money on that Baltimore money line. Anyone who likes Baltimore is probably just going to want to take the minus 160. So having the Chargers upset Baltimore outright, I feel like is the play here. So yeah, Chargers plus 3, Chargers to win. Monday Night Football, a tricky pick here. The Bears are getting 3 points on the road at Minnesota. I feel like Minnesota has to win to put pressure on the Lions. I feel like Minnesota has to win to keep that Dobbs storyline alive. Dobbs leading the Minnesota Vikings to the playoffs seems like a storyline that they're going to run with. So, in order to get that storyline back up and running again, I think the Vikings definitely have to win this game. The question is, do they cover? I see quite a few people taking the Bears plus the points. So I'm going to take Minnesota to cover the 3 points here. And this is a tough pick to make because I could see the Bears hanging around. But I've seen quite a few people take the Bears. So I'm going to take Minnesota minus the 3 at home. So there you go. Those are your scripted picks. A lot of tough games to call, a lot of super close spreads. So this could be a tough week. So who knows? But yeah, those are my picks. So fingers crossed that I stay hot and continue winning this week. All right, guys. Those are your week 12 picks. I will see you guys next week. Good luck out there. If you're going to bet these games, I don't recommend that you bet every single one. And if you are going to bet, make sure you do it responsibly. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.